Work isn't just about getting through email. It's about making sense of it. And AMD AICC helps you summarize conversations, surface decisions, and advance strategy.
No one gave
It's
me
simple,
free swaps,
organized, and
but
sophisticated.
if I built you, would I get more or would I get none? And I got more, so I gotta build all of them. Is somebody watching my stream? If somebody's in the chat, how do I know if somebody's in the chat?
with meant I could walk through them. The ones to the middle were too high up, so I decided to walk through the ones on the right. I ended up immediately falling into a room with a crafting table and a furnace. At the bottom of the room there was a water pool with kelp in it. So I collected the kelp and I didn't really know what to make with it. I decided to use the crafting table to get back into the other room to see if I missed anything. But then I realized that I was using the kelp to make a dropper block. This block was up against the top of the mountain and 2 blocks above me. So I smelt for the kelp, made the block, and walked up into the next room. The next room was full of presents and there was 1 block of ice with lava underneath it. I knew I needed something to melt this ice, so I checked all of the presents. When I got to this present, something weird happened, and items started dropping from the sky. There was actually a dispenser in the roof, and whenever I opened the present, it would drop items. Eventually, the dispenser ran out of items, and I had 7 item frames, a shovel, and a torch. So I went back to the ice and used the torch to melt it. I swam down the ice, and I was in a large room with a candy cane and 2 snow golems on each side of it. I walked into the candy cane and saw a massive hole which looked like it went to the surface. I had no blocks to build up, but luckily I had this diamond shovel from the previous room, and I could use it to break the snow underneath the golems to make snow blocks. When I had enough snow, I built up in the candy cane, and I made it to the surface, successfully escaping the prison. This is a giant magma cube, and inside of it is one of the hardest prisons which I am going to be attempting to escape. I spawned in a large bedrock room with lava underneath me. I could see another room across from me, but it was too far for me to reach. So I looked around for items and ended up finding 2 pieces of string, and when I looked up, I found a dropper, a floating anvil, and a hole with TNT in it. I decided to break the string that was holding up the anvil, and the anvil fell down, so I was able to use it to reach the dropper that was beside it. Inside of the dropper, there was a blast protection 4 diamond chestplate and a golden apple. I looked around some more, and I ended up finding a dropper underneath the platform I was on. The dropper contained 3 sticks, a flame book, and an arrow. Now I had the materials to craft a flame bow, but I didn't have a crafting table. So I looked around and ended up finding a crafting table behind the dropper. I crafted the bow and applied flame to it using the anvil since I conveniently had 69 levers. Now I had a golden apple, a flame bow, and an arrow to help me
Poor
get across.
newbie.
These items might not be able to get me across on their own, but there was still a block of TNT in the roof. If I shoot the TNT with the flame bow, it will light, and the TNT will fall down, and I can use it to TNT block. So I took the golden apple and
You
dropped
might
the
be
TNT
wondering,
block
why
on
are
the
you
block.
not flying?
I was
You see
barely
that
flying so
message?
long,
It's
and
a
if I
message
succeeded in
saying,
getting the apple and held the blast top chest plate, I
in
would have
our
made it.
private
So I
property,
set up some
flying
flames in
without
the
our
apple. I
permission,
was on a basalt island
you
with
will
a
get
tree close
shot
to me that was 1 block too far to
by
jump.
rockets.
There was also a monster fall beneath me that I had no way of surviving. So I went back into the hallway and collected the weeping vines coming from the roof, and I also found 2 more pieces of string beneath me. You might have noticed that the
And so
weeping
I can
vines were placed on
liberate
the
that
roof since I
island.
could use them to get to the next room. The problem was I didn't have enough of them to get across.
And by
After
liberate,
the
I
roof
mean
building was built, I
divine
decided to look around
justice.
since I hadn't finished exploring this room yet. I ended up seeing a dropper underneath the basalt, so I looked down and the dropper contained 2 more weeping vines. Now I had enough vines to make it across, so I placed the weeping vines on the roof and I jumped to the next room. In the next room there was a dropper in one corner, a crafting table in the other, a floating block, and a hole in the roof and on the wall. I checked to see what was in the dropper, and I found 4 prismarine shards and 4 pieces of bamboo. I immediately realized I could craft a prismarine block, and I used it to get a better look at the floating block and the hole in the wall. There was a gold pressure plate at the back of the hole, and there was an item frame with a stick on top of the floating block. Now that I had this stick, I turned the bamboo into sticks, and I crafted a fishing rod. I used the fishing rod to fish the pressure plate inside the hole, and when I did that, a potion of levitation dropped from the hole in the roof. I grabbed my crafting table and checked the rest of the room 1 more time, and since the hole in the roof was the only place that I hadn't been, I used the potion to go up the hole. There was a dropper on the way up, but I checked it and it was completely empty. In this room there was a lava pool on the floor with flowing lava 1 block higher in the middle. I could also see a boat on the other side of the lava, and that was it. I realized I could use my crafting table to cross this lava, but I decided to check the lava first because it made no sense for the lava to keep flowing. I ended up finding a dropper with a blue ice block in it, so I decided my
Oh,
crafting table would be more useful, and I used the blue ice to cross the lava. I made a mistake and didn't realize I wouldn't be able to
my
jump
limb
because the
should be
roof was too damn
fine.
high, and I almost died in the lava. I waited for my health to regen, and I looked around. The only thing I was able to see was the boat and a 1 block high gap leading to another room. So I used the fishing rod to fish the boat towards me, and I tried to jump into the boat. In the next room, there was a dropper with a chest in the wall, a platform with a hole above it, and an exit at the top of the room. I moved towards the crafting table, and there was also a chest in front of it. There were 69 prismarine shards in the middle of the chest. I used the wood to make a block, and I crafted a flame bow, a bow, and a snow pulling up a block of sand. But this was not a normal block of snow. It was actually powdered snow. This meant that if I shot it with my crowbar, spring arrow would melt the snow and the sand would keep falling down. So since it was my only option, I used the normal arrow to shoot the sand and get the block of snow. When the sand fell down, the lava followed it, and so did my arrow. So I shot myself with a fire resistance arrow, and I climbed up the lava to the next room. I was in a box with a 1 block gap, and through the gap I could see 2 shells and 2 droppers. I was unable to reach one of the droppers, but I could reach the other one, and I found 4 magnet cream inside of it and killed it. At
Yay,
this point I saw nothing else in the
bang.
room, so I quickly went back down the lava to see if I missed anything. I broke the sand and there was nothing under the lava, so at this point I had to spin back up because my fire resistance was running out. There was nothing else in this room, and I had no items to go through a 1 block gap, so I was stuck. But then I realized what I could do with the saddle, and it all made sense. If I place the saddle on one of the striders, I can then ride the strider and teleport through the gap. So I did that, and I found out both of the striders were also named Joe. Why is everyone named Joe? Anyways, I checked the other dropper I couldn't reach, and there was more magnet cream, so now I have 12 magnet cream. The only thing I could make was magnet blocks, so I crafted 2 of them. I still needed 4 blocks to make the top of the room though, so I was still missing something. Unfortunately, I realized I would have to kill Joe because striders drop string as 4 string crafts into wool. So I got 4 string from Joe, and there's no reason to kill Joe too, so I definitely didn't. I used the 4 blocks to build up, and the first thing I saw was a pearl glitch settlement. So I turned around and there's a dropper with a pearl inside of it, so I drew my pearl and ended up on the nether. There was a chest up here, and it had 13 obsidian, a piece of wool, and a gas spawner inside of it. So I placed my obsidian in the form of a portal, and I spawned the gas. The gas ended up lighting the portal for me, and I went back through to the overworld. When I made it to the other side, I could see an exit waiting for me across these lava pools. There was a bunch of gravel and sand laying around, so I broke it all, and it revealed a crafting table. There was also water in the ground, and a dropper in the wall, and it contained a stone pickaxe and a piece of bone meal. I needed blocks that weren't gravity blocks to get across, so I made concrete because I already had water to turn it into hardened concrete, and I had a pickaxe as well. I grabbed the crafting table and bridged across using the 8 concrete, and there was one more lava pool that I needed to cross. I already had 2 blocks I could use to get across, so I just placed them so I could jump across. Before I left, I checked this chest in the wall and found a punch 2 book and a stack of arrows. I wonder what that could have been used for. Next, I jumped across the lava and got in this boat placed on the outside to escape the prison. My friend built me a prison and challenged me to break out of it, but the problem was this prison seemed impossible to escape. On the inside, all of the rooms are layered with bedrock, making it impossible to break out. The only way to escape is making it past all of the puzzles to get to the exit. Will I be able to do it? Let's find out. I started by looking around the room I was in. I was stuck in a bedrock cage surrounded by a bunch of furnaces. I decided to look in F5 mode, and I saw a chest above me that was completely out of my reach. I decided to check all of the furnaces to see if they had any useful items. After checking all the furnaces, I was left with 1 oak plank, 4 raw iron, and 4 daylight sensors. I decided that the only thing left to do was to smelt the raw iron with the daylight sensors. Once the iron had smelted, I was left with 4 ingots, 1 daylight sensor,